Andy, for Rangers, of course, Giovanni, a fine-haired hero, and obviously managed them most recently in the Champions League as well. So they'll be a bit of needle there, won't they, with Ajax?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's where you want to be.
Yeah.
And you love all these little side shows that go on, because we all know about the history of the clubs. I think it's interesting that Celtic have drawn Shakhtar Donetsk. It's probably amazing that they're even playing football. I think all their whatever stars they had, I think they left Ukraine because of the war. So it's amazing that they're still playing football. And I think them just participating in the group will give them a lift. But they're definitely not at their strongest. And of course, with Celtic also up against Leipzig, they've recently taken back Timo Werner from Chelsea. So that's the type of quality you're up against there. And we all know about Real Madrid. They're just a team of champions.
The tickets, it's going to be gold dust, isn't it? The packages will be going on sale any moment, I'd imagine.
How are you fixed for tickets?
How many who for? It's going to be phenomenal. Are you a regular attender, Danny? Do you get to the matches?
Aye, when we can, aye. But obviously this one is these three big games are going to be something else. I think the Liverpool game, that's going to be a right big glamour tie. And as I said, obviously it'll be good. It'll be good to get the likes of the big teams back at Ibrox again. I don't know whether you would agree whether John McLaughlin would be in between the sticks for that one, or whether it's Big McGregor that goes back in between there for the kind of games.
Well, Kenny's eyebrows have gone up. Kenny, what's your reply on that?
I think John McLaughlin's been the number one. He's got the jersey at the moment. Again, I agree with pretty much the majority of people. It's a big surprise to me that Gio's made that call, but he'll stand by it, and he played his part. There's no doubt he played his part over the tie to get Rangers through.
The one player I remember playing for Liverpool and Rangers is Mark Walters. I remember playing with Bolton against Liverpool. Mark Walters was there, obviously a big star at Rangers when he was up here. Played against them here as well. What a skillful player he was. So that's a game I'm sure he'll be interested in.
Great winger. Did he went from Rangers to Liverpool then, didn't he?
He did, aye. Graham Souness took him to Anfield, I'm sure.
He was one of the first ones you seen with that step over, wasn't it?
That's
right. You had that.
Yeah,
it was incredible. The old
really quick feet.
Yep.
Great.
Daniel, who would you have in goals up against Mo Salah and co? Who would you go for?
Obviously, I mean, John McLaughlin at the time now, he's done really well. But for me, it's just that assertiveness, just having that confidence in McGregor. He's done it before in big games, and that's no disrespect to John McLaughlin. I mean, he is. I thought he pulled some top draw saves last night against some decent PSV players.
He did, didn't he? Andy, he did really well last night, and he had a great save as well last week, late in the game.
Yeah, as Kenny says, he's got the jersey, and if he's fit, he'll play. I think Alan McGregor will probably take part in the cup competitions, but when I say the cup, I mean the League Cup, the Scottish Cup. But I think McLaughlin's got the jersey now, and certainly after the way he performed last night with a couple of good saves, I don't think he's let anyone down. I still think Alan McGregor's a better keeper, but Van Bronckhorst is working with him every day.
Van Bronckhorst obviously so pleased last night, Danny, as you were, to get through. But this is obviously before the draw in the last few minutes. He said, look, we're not in it just to make up the numbers. We want to be competitive.
Well, of course you want to be competitive. I mean, it's, we are here, to compete. You want to compete with the best team in Europe. It's going to be a difficult challenge because we're going to face some big teams in Europe like we did last year. But it's an experience, I would love. And I loved that my players will have that opportunity to compete. I always remember my first game in Champions League with Feyenoord against Juventus away. And the first 20-25 minutes, I was blown away about the level and the way they played Juventus in that time. And, to experience that as a player is very... You have to be very privileged because not many players get the chance to compete on this level.
Kenny, what are you hearing there from the manager who will now be up against Ajax, Liverpool and Napoli?
Well, he's saying the right things. I mean, you don't go into any game as a Rangers manager or player and just accept defeat. That's for sure. The same goes for Celtic. They'll be wanting to go there and be more than competitive. And I think with the group, I think they can be. You've got the other stories which just come in. You've got Bassey coming back. You've got the coach at Rangers, Dave Voss, I think, who came for Ajax as well. So there's one thing for sure: when they come up against Ajax, they'll know them very, very well with all the connections that they've got with Gio and his staff. So that'll be an intriguing battle. But I think it was Daniel says there, Liverpool will be an incredible night, because it'll be built up and it'll be built as the Battle of Britain and everything that comes along Scotland and England games. It'll be an incredible night.
Ten Hag, of course, was at Ajax last time round. I think Martinez was also there. So they've a couple of players that are away. The manager's obviously away, but you know the setup at Ajax, it's always the same. They always play the same way. They always produce their own players, and they're beginning to spend a bit of money as well.
Stevie Gerrard will have his tickets already booked to come back up.
That's a good point, Andy. Steven Gerrard there. Split loyalties. No. Well, he's a Liverpool man, isn't he? That's the club closest to his heart. Did great things with Rangers, but you ask him to choose who he wants to win, I'm sure he'll say Liverpool. Well, half the team are his players, aren't they, Kenny? Although we see the changes of under Giovanni van Bronckhorst, and you know, Morel's, with the way Tillman bombs forward, Ryan Kent as well, other options. Would Morelos fit in the way that Cholak did last night?
Morelos brings something to the team. There's no getting away from it. It's we've spoke often enough now about it. He just needs to buckle down, get his head down again, work his way back into the good books. But as a player, if he gets there, there's no doubt he'll have a huge role to play. And you know what more incentive for him to actually go and get himself back in the team, back into the shape that and the form that we've known over the last 4 or 5 seasons. When you've got these ties coming up over the next couple of months, it's his mouth must be watering. Like Gio says, he's part of the team. Yes, he was left out for the game last night for whatever reasons Gio felt it was the right call, but he's still part of that team, and he'll be looking forward to that as much as anybody.
So if he shows that kind of the aptitude, he's got so much talent, hasn't he, Andy, that it's such a shame that he doesn't seem to realise it and knuckle down, because you can see he's not in shape.
He's not in shape, and I don't understand it. We're heading towards September, and I don't know why the focus is not there. And you can have all the ability in the world, but if you don't have the right attitude, the right focus, you're useless.
Carlo Ancelotti, we just saw him on there. He's won the UEFA Coach of the Year. Who's it going to be next year? Can it be Ange Postecoglou? Can it be Giovanni van Bronckhorst? Or is it taxi for me?
We're getting our tickets booked for Istanbul now, aren't we? As simple as that.